What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. The Chargers are just doomed. We're just doomed for eternity. It feels like the same old story every single year. And I want to talk about the Chargers' problems and how I don't think they're fixable anytime soon. Because me being a fan of the team, this is ridiculous what they consistently put out on the field each and every single week. So I'm going to talk about who needs to go, why they need to go, and what inevitably will have to change for this team to have any sort of success in the future. But this season at 2-4 just looks doomed. So before I get into it, what needs to change? What do you guys think needs to change? Let me know in the comments who needs to go, what's got to happen. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But let's flame one of my favorite teams. All right, so a lot needs to change. First and foremost, Tom Telesco, time to go, champ. Been the GM for like 10 years. You have, I think, 1 or 2 playoff wins to show for it. Any other GM is getting canned at that point. When the team struggles, you never make an in-season trade. I think we've done 1 in-season trade in 10 years. This team needs to be bailed out. If you want to have any chance at salvaging this season, you have to do something. And ultimately, you're probably going to get canned afterwards anyway, so what you do is really not going to be your problem next year. So you might as well swing for the fences. That's my opinion. But ultimately, you've been terrible at drafting for the better part of a decade. Sure, every draft, for the most part, get 1 or 2 guys that can play on the team, but how many guys do you see on the Chargers that make it to a second contract with the Chargers? Very few. Very few. You got Derwin, Bosa, Herbert, and these are all the dudes that, they kind of lucked into. Herbert falling to them at 6, that they got lucky in that sense. Derwin James fell to like 17 or 18, whatever it was, when he was supposed to go way higher. Bosa was just the pick that was there. They didn't really have a choice on who to take. So all these guys that they had were just the guys they lucked into that turned out to be really good. I can't think of too many 3rd or 4th round picks that that Telesco has drafted that have turned out to be anything or have seen the team in year 4 or 5. I can't think of very many. And that's another problem with the drafting is you've got 3rd round picks like JT Woods, 4th round picks like Isaiah Spiller, Trey McKitty, even though he's terrible. Like, these guys, they don't even play. Like, you have multiple picks that don't even see the field on a team that's not winning games. So, Telesco, I'm sorry, but your time is up. You've been here like a decade, and it's been a pretty abysmal decade. But, leading to that, you're not going alone, Telesco, because Staley, it's time to go, champ, because we're all Chargers fans, I feel like, are just so over the Brandon Staley experiment. I think this is the most unified fan base in terms of we are so tired of this coach. We are so ready to move on. And I feel like they should have moved on from him more than likely after that 27-0 choke job that they did in the playoffs. That would have been the perfect time to do it. You kind of used Lombardi as a scapegoat, which he was terrible, but Staley was also part of the problem. And my main problem with it is you can't blow a 27-0 lead unless your defense gives up over 27 points in a half, which, hello, that's what they did. So now, and yes, I'm harping on the past, but it's been bad basically the entire year. They've just been mediocre. They're like a good, bad team. And I'm so tired of watching that because no game is ever what it should be. It's always going to be close. They're always going to screw it up at some critical moment and make it closer than it needs to be. Even if they win, they make it way too hard on themselves. They never play a game where all 3 phases are just on point. If the if the offense is rolling, the defense is getting scorched. Look at the first half against the Chiefs. And yes, that's Patrick Mahomes, but the offense gives you, I think it was like 17 points or something like that. Defense gives up 24. Not going to get it done. This isn't a half, by the way. And I could be wrong on that score, but the point is the same. If the defense is locked in like they were in the second half against the Chiefs, then the offense stinks. Or then, you're down 1 score and you're punting to the Chiefs and you need to make a play on defense, get the ball back, get it back to your quarterback, and you give up a 50-yard punt return, and your game is essentially over because Patrick Mahomes is going to go down there and he's going to score a touchdown, which the Chargers, not to blame Herbert here, just the team in general, does not make the biggest plays at the biggest moments. They just don't do it. And to be fair, there's criticism for everyone on this team. Derwin James has been kind of non-existent. Joey Bosa, I don't even know if he plays. Like, those are like 2 big money guys that they have. Herbert, the last couple of weeks, has looked very mediocre, and I love Herbert. That's my favorite quarterback in the league, but call it what it is. You can blame the finger. Call it what it is. He's been very poor the last couple of weeks. But Staley, you're supposed to be a defensive guru And we have the worst pass defense in the NFL after back-to-back years of having like the worst run defense in the NFL. You just never get the defense put together, and you've had free will and spending. Whatever player you wanted, Telesco got you. J.C. Jackson experiment blows up in our face. So like anybody you wanted, you had control in the draft of who you wanted, and you just screw it up. They're the only pass defense, I think, in the league that gives up over 300 passing yards per game. It's something along those lines. I think the next closest defense was at like 260 or 270. Nobody was more than 275. That's a huge gap. They're terrible on third down. This is all like schematic. You have your own players like Derwin James and Michael Davis complaining about, hey, we played way too much zone. Why the hell did it take us an entire half to figure that out? We figured it out after they scored 24 points. You're not going to win that way, ever. So yeah, those two got to go. Staley and Telesco, enjoy the beach, enjoy retirement, whatever you want to do. Chargers fans, I just know we're all sick and tired of it. And the sad part about the situation that they're in, them being a good, bad team or a bad, good. No, they're a good, bad team. I wouldn't even call them a bad, good team because they're not even good at being bad. They're in a situation that they're essentially screwed salary cap wise. And there's going to be a lot of familiar faces on this team that are not going to be on the team next year. You'll see some combination or all of like maybe Joey Bosa's not on the team next year. Maybe Derwin James is not on the team next year. Maybe Mike Williams is no longer on the team next year. Maybe Keenan Allen, he's getting older and he's won a lot of money. Maybe he's not there next year. Eckler, probably not there next year. You have essentially 4 or 5 of your Pro Bowlers, and the odds that you're keeping 2 of them at most are very low. That's what happens when your team's in salary cap hell because your GM, swung for the fences a bunch on players that just didn't work, and the coach didn't know how to coach his players, and the GM couldn't draft to make up for it. It's just a huge explosion that's just blown up in front of the Chargers. And I feel like Chargers fans deserve a little bit better. It's been a tumultuous 26 years for me of this fan base, the team. And this fandom, it sucks to be a fan of the Chargers, to be completely honest. But, I'm sure next Sunday we'll play a good game against the Bears and we'll gain hope, and then we'll play the Jets and probably win that game 10-6 or something stupid, and then we'll gain hope and then we'll fall apart as they do. It's the most played out story in football. I'm being negative Nancy right now, but I watched barely any of the game yesterday, and I was just like, yeah, they're not winning this game. I had no hope going into it. No hope. But yeah, Chargers fans, what do you think needs to change? I think a lot. Everything, for the most part, needs to change, and it starts at the top. But let me know if you disagree in the comments. Let me know if you agree in the comments. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. I hope you guys enjoy me torturing myself talking about how terrible my football team is. But I'm done here. Thanks for watching. Peace.